Hey guys, today we're gonna take this heavy brick, which you shouldn't throw at anybody, make a one-piece mold out of it, and then make it into this foam brick that you can. Let's get going. We're gonna use high strength 1. If you've used any of our mold making products before, this doesn't look familiar to you. That's because we are making new labels. It's gonna be a lot easier to tell what goes with what. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so first steps, what we gotta do in order to prep this thing. I'm gonna move this over here. This right here is what we're gonna use for our mold box. I cheated a little bit. I worked ahead. This is some melamine board. You can get this at every home center ever. So I made this. It actually is gonna fit our brick in there nice and perfect. This is the box I kind of already had quickly made. It's a little bit tall. We actually don't need that much height. We can only, go maybe a ½ inch over the part and it would be plenty. So I might not actually, when I'm pouring this, fill it all the way up. So we have to prep these surfaces. If it's dirty and messy like this, all you wanna do, grab a little bit of paper towel or something and just wipe it off. All right, we're wiped down, we're clean, we're good to go. There are a million ways to make sure that the box is solidly on the base box, that it's not gonna leak, that nothing's gonna pour out. I'm just gonna show you one of those today. We're gonna use some molding clay. We're actually going to seal the edges of this box with clay. You know what? I almost forgot. We have one step to do before that. We actually wanna glue this brick down here. I'm glad I remember that. I've got my crazy glue. I've got my accelerator sprayed. I'm just gonna ballpark it in the middle-ish. Just a little press. The thing's heavy enough, it doesn't need it. There we go. I have a nice even spacing. This is gonna work. But like I was saying before I interrupted myself, I gotta tack it down. I'm only tacking this down because I'm using another method. I'm just gonna real quick draw just a simple tiny line there. Not using much. Same here. Just a little bit of glue. All right, this is drying, the crazy glue is drying, the hot glue is drying. Slide it over to the side, bring in the clay. Okay, so here's what we do. I've got my gloves on. I'm just gonna take a little bit of clay. We're going old school arts and crafts, guys. A little cold, means I gotta warm it up, that's fine. We are going to do spaghetti. Do you guys remember doing this? You get spaghetti noodles in class. One end always goes a little crazy on you. You just kind of roll it out like that. We want a good, a little bit of weight to this because we're going to really kind of push it into the crack of the box and then smush down the sides and the bottom up along the box and the base. So a little bit of meat on those bones, I'm not mad about. I can take it over to my box, see what I've got. Okay, I know my lengths. Grab a quick putty knife. Choppy. Done. Do another one, see what my link's looking like. Chop it. Done. I've got all my pieces. So I can just roll these off. So my box is tacked down, so it's not going anywhere. My brick's solid too. And then why I did that is because I'm gonna be pushing with this clay. I'm gonna be pushing against the edges and the walls of the box. I'm just gonna put that clay just right up against it to where it can't really move anymore. Awesome. Pressing, pressing, pressing. And I used a lot of clay here, right? Because I'm paranoid. But I'd rather be a little bit paranoid about this working than it not work. And again, this clay is reusable. The second part is now we have the crack filled. We've pushed in really hard to make sure nothing's gonna come out, but we need to smooth it, right? So we're gonna smooth from the crack to the base and from the crack to the top of the wall as well. Just adds extra seal, just in case something goes wrong, and more pressure goes down there as well. Now it's time to mix up some silicone. We're using, like I said before, high strength 1 with a new label, a little sneak peek for you. 10:1 by weight. You need that scale. Clean gloves, roll your sleeves up, safety glasses on. Don't be an idiot, put your safety glasses on. And then it's 10:1. I know how much I need because I used the volume calculator. You go here, you type in how big your mold box is. Mine's 5.5 by 9.25 by 4. I've got my part, which I've already figured out what the volume is, and it tells me exactly how many grams, or how many pounds, in this case, a pretty good amount, I need. And in goes the high strength one. High strength 1 and high strength 2 and high strength 3. All the high strengths, I think. 10-to-1 by weight. That's why I use the scale. So I need 10% of what I just put in here, which is 187 grams of this catalyst. Here's the hard part. It's mix time. So you can see this is going to be a lovely pink color once it's all mixed together, but that mixing is going to take a little bit. So here comes the fast forward. So I've mixed it up here. You've got the pink color. It's consistent throughout. I've been scraping the sides. I've been doing all that. It's time to go. There we go. So I got the right amount measured. Why? Because I used the volume calculator. That's what you do it for right there. And then I can scrape the bucket and just add to the top. Now is a waiting game. This thing cures in about 12 to 18 hours, a little bit of temperature dependency there. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow, because I don't want to stay here through the night, and demold this, and then we'll do something pretty fun. All right, we've waited 24 hours. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was actually a weekend. We shot this first half on Friday. There's a couple ways to go about this. The clay, because it's on, you know, this L that we talked about before, it should come off pretty easily and just kind of rip. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take one of these guys, give myself just a little bit of like a starting point here. That's it. And then I'm just gonna get my finger in there, and then I'm just gonna pull. And that's what we're looking for right here. So you see how this came apart completely? Now, if I just kind of roll my finger, a lot of that should come out, so. Okay, there we go. Our clay's removed. What I'd like to do now, I could just start to kind of like rip this off, and that might work. I'm gonna be a little bit more methodical about it. So I'm gonna use this drill. So there's silicone right down here. You can see it kind of was stopped there by the wood. Our brick might not be perfectly flat when we glued it down, so it means there could be some silicone that's gotten underneath there. If that happens, there's gonna be a lot of like suction, a lot of pressure. So we're gonna take our time with this. It's not gonna be difficult, but we might have to do a little bit of cutting, loosening, and figure out how to get this off appropriately. So I'm just gonna start by just really gently getting this corner, just trying to break some of that tension. I'll get a putty knife here, just kind of get in there. And then we glued our brick down. So the brick may come off with the board, or it may not. Either way is okay. You just gotta take your time. So we're just going around, kind of breaking that seal with the putty knife. Whew! There we go. This is my explanation for you guys. This is what I was talking about before. This wasn't perfectly flat, so you end up with silicone getting underneath. That's fine, it's not gonna affect our mold, but it's gonna make what you just saw, that really painful process. So much suction there. So here's what we're gonna do. Instead of going and just like cutting everything, there's a little bit of separation here, and I'm just gonna actually use the edge of the brick to kind of peel up some of this silicone. That way, I'm not ruining any of the natural edge that it's already got. Another trick as well is if you take your putty knife and you just kind of give it a little bit of an angle and then scrape along the object, it's gonna keep that natural line too. So you can get rid of stuff just by scraping like that. There we go. Separating the walls. I still have to mess with the middle there. Make sure those come out okay. Oh yeah. Very grippy right now. All right, I think we're cleaned up enough. There's a little bit of flashing around the edge of those circles. They aren't perfect. That's okay. If I can keep that, I actually want to keep that. When I'm adding whatever it is, whether that's resin or foam, it'll actually help guide me to like a level brick that way. Foam's gonna be a little bit different, but that's all right. Okay, here we go, demolding. I've got my walls pretty much broken down. It's released pretty easily from the actual silicone. The hard part's gonna be these middle circles. Could I just have manhandled this thing or broken the brick? I could have, but not worth it. Okay, here we go. There it is, out the mold, still intact. And now we've got this guy ready to go. We're gonna use our 3-pound density foam. This stuff's, it's gonna get out of hand. And I'm gonna intentionally let it get out of hand for you guys because it's a little bit more fun. And so that you can see how this product actually works. Foams here, this foam is 2 to 1, right? So there's gonna be 2 parts of this side and then 1 part of this side mixed up together. You can do weight or volume. I'm gonna do weight today because I have a scale. If you don't have a scale, don't worry about it, no big deal. All right, so as far as color goes, I want it to look like this brick as much as possible. How do you do that? How do you know exactly what's the right mixture? The truth is you don't. That's a time and experience thing. Give it a couple tries. You may mix up a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it gets close, but maybe not. It's gonna be a little bit of trial and error. I'm gonna start with a little bit of brown and red, so our translucent red and our translucent brown as well. That's kind of what I'm gonna imagine is gonna work for this color. So that's what I'm going for here. I'm gonna think maybe 2 drops each, something like that. And then you might be wondering what this guy is for. This is actually how we're going to get the foam into the mold and get it flat. If I just poured foam into here, it's just gonna cascade up and you're gonna end up with this weird bulbous top to the brick. That doesn't look like a brick, we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is after I pour this foam in here, I'm gonna cover up the mold and I'm just gonna leave a little corner of it exposed. Leaving that little corner of it exposed allows the extra foam to go there. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna start right here with the A side. This is our, in the 2 to 1 ratio, this is our 1. So I'm gonna use this scale and I'm actually gonna add all the color, I'm gonna use this cup. I'm actually gonna add all the color to the A side by itself. Why would I do that? If I mix the A and the B side together and then add color, it's not gonna go well because the open time for this product, you might say 45 minutes, you might say 10 minutes, you might even say 2 minutes. This stuff's 10 seconds. So we have 10 seconds from when we mix all this together to get it into the mold before it starts foaming up. So that's a really important thing to pay attention to. That's why we're adding color to this side. I'm gonna go ahead, drop that in there, and I'm gonna do about, I feel good about 40. 40 feels nice. We're gonna give it a shot. You know what? We're gonna go up to 50 just for fun. Let's have some fireworks. That goes to the side. I'm gonna put my other cup right on the top there, tear the scale, make sure we're at 0. Then I grab the B side. The B side's 2 parts here. So I was at 50 on the A, gotta go up to 100 on the B side. There we go, perfect. 100. Now it's time for some color. Translucent red, translucent brown. I'm gonna do 2 drops of the red. Here's 1, there's 2. I'm gonna do I do 1 or do I do 2? I don't know, we're gonna have to find out. Let's try doing, let's do 2, just for fun. There we go. Grab a stir stick, and then I am just gonna mix this up. Board, brick, side A, side B. I'm gonna pour A into B, mix it up really, really quickly. We're talking like a very fast, as much as possible, get it all mixed together, and then it's going right into the mold. Here we go. So I'm putting my board over the corner again. That gives the foam somewhere to go. Here it is. If I didn't do that, this thing would blow out the mold. So instead, giving it somewhere to go keeps my mold intact. for future use. And this extra right here, I can use the corner of this just to kind of cut it off there. And then I don't have to worry about it. Since it's not really expanding anymore, now I can close it up, so to speak, and we're good to go. All right, we've waited the allotted amount of time. Now it's time to demold this. Is it gonna go perfectly? Maybe, maybe not. This is about taking your time, right? So we're gonna remove this, and I can feel it coming off of this board here. I'm just doing gentle, consistent like pressure because I don't want to rip anything out. There we go. The board is gone. The noise is loud, and that's fine. So you can see we've got some flashing here. That's easy. We can take care of that with a knife afterwards. But what we're gonna do now is see if we can still get this out of the mold. So this is just like demolding the normal real brick. Pull the walls apart, take your time. There we go. Demolded. The color's not exactly perfect, right? Probably could add more brown, but there it is. Now, how firm is this thing? Not firm at all, right? It's a foam brick. A little bit of paint you could add to this, but I would say dial it in with more different color, and this isn't gonna hurt anybody. Hey guys, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. We have so many more how-to videos and instructionals and information, everything that you would need in order to make what you want to make. And then if you're not sure you're ever going to see the new video we post, hit the bell, get notifications.